right. Hi, welcome everybody. My name is Skyla Ramirez, Yoga Fit Master Trainer. Either come into a seated position or lie down on the floor with your knees bent. Let's begin today with a bit of mindful breathing. We may want to place our hands on the belly so that we can feel for some movement in the abdomen as we breathe. If we're noticing any movement at all in the chest, we want to meet the body where it is today. So as we begin with some belly breathing techniques, we can always let the breath stay up in the chest just a little bit. As you become aware of the breath, as we inhale, let's encourage the breath to begin in the belly, pressing the belly button into the hands and rounding out the abdomen. The breath might come up through the ribs. It might even lift up to the heart. We may lift the ribs a little bit. Shoulders are down and back and relaxed. As you exhale, relax the heart and then relax the belly. Inhaling, rounding the belly through the middle of the body up to the heart, little lift of the heart. And then exhale, relax the heart and relax the belly. Practicing this full breath in 3 parts of the lungs, from the belly through the ribs to the heart. And then exhale, relax the heart, relax the ribs, and relax the belly. We could even count the breath, adding in some equal ratio breathing to stabilize the inhale and the exhale. Inhaling 1, 2, 3 at the heart. Exhale, relax, 3, 2, 1, draw the belly in. Inhaling 1, 2, 3 at the heart. Exhaling 3, 2, 1, softening the belly. So let's keep that 3-part breath for maybe just another minute. And you may notice that you might want to count slower or faster. Meet the body where it is rhythmically. It can change at any time. If we're noticing any anxious energy in the body, maybe we feel fidgety or we notice that the brain is a little busy, you may begin to stretch out the exhale a little bit. And you could even purse the lips as if you're going to whistle. So creating a little contraction in the mouth to relieve some stress and tension in the face. You could always inhale 1, 2, 3, pause, then exhale, purse the lips. Stretching the exhale out as much as possible, just like you're trying to exhale out of a straw, or like whistling, or like blowing out a bunch of birthday candles. Inhaling through the nose as much as possible, flaring out the nostrils. And then exhale. Trying that maybe one more time. Big breath in. Big exhale. Now allow the breath to establish any natural rhythm. So while we continue to focus on noticing the breath, there's another technique that we can experiment with that's used to help improve overall lung and heart health. It's called Viloma Krama. It's a breathing technique where you take in one big inhale and then you exhale in a series of small bursts of air. Sometimes it's known as a stair-stepping breath. This is a breathing technique that could be reminiscent of after a crying spell. So it helps also to regulate various emotional states. The breath looks like this. It's one big inhale with a bunch of little exhales. You can do those little exhales from your mouth or just from the nose. Let's try it again. Inhaling through the nose. And now a bunch of tidy exhales. Big inhale. Tiny exhales. Big inhale. Tiny exhales. 2 more. Last one. And now just relax. Let's inhale the arms up and overhead. Big breath in. Your arms might be reaching back behind you if you're lying down, or you're reaching towards the sky if you're seated up. Exhale, lowering the arms down beside us. Let's gather the breath a couple more times. Inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Reach from the armpits. If you're lying on your back, press the knuckles back behind you towards the floor. Exhale, lower the hands down. One more big breath in. Big inhale. And then exhale back. Now, no matter where you are, take a moment and bring the hands up beside you. So you could have your fingertips behind the ears, or maybe even let the hands come down onto the shoulders or in the front of the chest. We're going to move the spine in a unique way with the breath. So as you inhale, feel your ribs pulling forward and up. And then as you exhale, drop your chin and curl the elbows in. So if you're lying on your back, you might feel the shoulders pulling away from the floor. And if we're seated, we could round the whole body, much like a seated cat expression. Inhale, open the elbows, pull the ribs up, lift through the heart and the sternum. Exhale, pulling the elbows in, option to round the spine. Inhaling, breathing in through the nose. Exhaling from the throat, keeping the lips slightly pressed together. Maybe just one more like this. Inhale. And then exhale. Now let your body decide for itself. If you want to do a couple more of these movements with your elbows going in and out like butterfly wings, you're welcome to do a couple more, or maybe we embrace some stillness. Maybe we just take a moment and reestablish some neutrality in the arms, the neck and the shoulders, and find a nice neutral breath. No matter where you are, notice if your body still wants to move, notice if it wants to embrace stillness, and just know at any time you get to choose what this practice is. You get to choose when to move, when to be still, and how to breathe. From wherever you are, let's inhale, bring the arms up overhead again, big breath in. Reach with the fingertips, just one last time to gently open under the armpits and on the sides of the ribs. From here, relax the arms down. For those of us who are seated, let's take our time coming down onto the floor. And of course, as an option, you're welcome to stay seated upright or even to stay seated in a chair and adapt the practice for your body in any plane of movement. So to safely come down, we might want to swing our knees over to one side and then use the hands to walk our bodies down into lying on our sides. From here, rolling over onto our backs. Let's draw one knee in at a time, hugging the knees into the chest for a gentle knees to chest expression. We might want to keep the knees and feet close together, feeling the legs pressing onto the belly, just a little bit of an energetic flushing for the abdomen's energy, adding in that gentle sway left and right, looking straight up towards the sky, option to close the eyes, just rocking along the kidneys and the adrenal glands and the backs of the lungs. Let's come to center, find a still point, extend the legs overhead. Option to take the legs out wide, almost like a straddle position. Let's shake out the ankles, roll out the ankles. Might want to circle those feet around. So we're focusing on waking up the energy and circulation and nerves in the lower extremities before we do any major pressure into the feet. Just a few more circles. We might notice that the legs get a little warm as we encourage more blood flow here. Web out your toes. Maybe even take the hands and roll out the ankles and, kind of just do a little bit of an open and closed fist to stimulate some energy in the wrist and the arms. From here, let's slowly lower our feet to the floor, knees at about hips width. Let's take our hands, and we're going to have our thumbs and our index fingers touching, making almost like a diamond shape with your hands stand out. Place the thumbs over the belly button with your fingers down towards the pelvis. And inhale here, feel the hands rising. Exhale, gently press as the belly lowers, and maybe just pull up a little bit with the thumbs. Just a little bit of a pressure into the abdomen, a tiny belly press. Inhale, release that tension, let the belly rise. Exhale, the belly lowers. Pulling in and up just a little bit with the thumbs, gentle belly press. Inhale, abdomen rising. Exhale, belly dropping. Noticing the rise and fall of the hands with this, pulling in and up. Maybe just one or two more. Continuing to notice the breath and its intimate connection to the body. Letting go of any judgment, expectation. Letting go of any competition. Breathing, feeling, listening to the body. Staying in the moment. As long as we're breathing, we're doing yoga. We can keep the hands here on the pelvis and maybe push into the feet and just tilt the tailbone up. So peel the tailbone away, rounding the low back, and then drop the tailbone down. So we're adding in this rocking motion of the pelvis, just sort of rocking the energy that moves into that groin area and into the lower abdomen, possibly stimulating some more healthy circulation of the energy in the lower trunk of the body, maybe even helping to improve lymphatic movement, lymphatic drainage. Let's rock forward and back just one more time. Relax the tailbone, relax the pelvis. Let's draw just the left knee in towards the chest. Exhale, inhale, release. Exhale, right leg in, straight in, little press on the abdomen, and then release. So let's keep this rhythm of exhaling, drawing one knee in towards the body, releasing with the inhale. If we're noticing any discomfort at all, we can take that leg a little bit out to the side towards our armpit instead. So you can take that leg out a little bit at an angle that could be more comfortable to stretch the inner thigh, maybe less pressure on the belly. If you like, go ahead and add in a little lift of your pelvis with this. So as we draw one leg in, we push into the supporting foot and lift the hip away from the floor, then lower that hip and lower the leg. So it's a combination movement of a knee towards the chest with the pelvic tilt, and then drop the hips and drop that leg. Let's alternate this a few more times. Knee to chest, option to pull that tailbone up and then drop it down. So either keeping the tilts only, the knee to chest only, or the combination, and then maybe even adding in a head towards the knee at any point. Deepening that contraction through the trunk of the body. We began with that gentle contraction in the lower area towards the hips. We moved it in towards the middle core of the body, and now deepening that contraction with the chest region. We can always use the hands for support, checking in with the head and neck, making sure that the body is avoiding any sensations that might maybe feel harmful. We want to avoid that. Maybe just for today, move towards comfort. As much as possible, move towards comfort. Let's even this up on both sides when it feels right for you. Just allow both your legs to sit comfortably on the floor. Let's let the knees sway a little bit left and right. Notice if it feels right to have the feet at hips width. Maybe take them a little wider. Starting with a very tiny, tiny twist, giving the body time to Notice, assess, interpret the different sensations. Maybe we deepen that twist. So maybe we take the knees over just a little more as we exhale. Inhale through center, then take them over to the other side. Exhale. Inhaling through center, exhale, twist over to one side. If your knees are twisting to the right, bring both arms over to the left. Reaching over, peeling up that right shoulder blade. Let's inhale through center with the knees over to the left. Looking to the right, we may want to lift that left arm, lift that left shoulder blade a little bit, and reach over to the right. Inhaling through center, arms may want to track with the twist. Knees to one side, arms reaching in the opposite direction. Inhaling through center, exhale, twist. Let's try one more on each side, any expression of a twist. And we may even want to just hold it on one side. The body might need to work out some sensations or some tightness in the body. When it feels evened out on both sides for you, bring the knees to center. Let's hug the knees into the chest one more time. Centering and grounding through that low back and spine. We can add in that little rock again. Check in with the ankles and the feet. They got to experiment with some weight bearings. Let's just check in and move the ankles and feet around again. When you're ready, let's lower those feet. Taking our time, let's roll over to one side. Hold it there for a moment. Maybe just pull the knees in tight just for a moment. And think about breathing into the low back, through the middle back, and into the space behind your heart. So we're finding that breath in 3 parts along the back sides of the lungs. So we're moving the breath up and down the length of the spine. Breathe into the low back, into the middle back, between the heart and under the shoulder blades. When you're ready, let's use our top hand for support and slowly begin to come up, positioning ourselves into all fours. From all fours, we could always, instead, we could use a bolster or a block. If you have a couple of yoga blocks, maybe one under each hand so you get a nice little lift. You could even come down onto your elbows with 2 yoga blocks under the body. If you have one yoga block, you're welcome to experiment with both elbows on that block. From wherever you are, let's move into our traditional cow and cat flow. Dropping the belly, lengthening through the spine for our cow pose. And then exhaling, pulling the belly button up and rounding the spine, dropping the head for cat. Inhaling, coming into cow. Exhaling into cat. Option to hold either one of these to carefully examine the breath. You could always move into cat pose, hold it there, and maybe practice an expanding breath behind your heart. Big inhale. Feeling as if the breath moves between the shoulder blades and it causes the shoulder blades to open the upper back and shoulders. One more big inhale, holding cat. Exhale, relax to neutral spine. Let's take the hands in front of the body, fingertip light on the hands. Hips are going to press a little bit back like cow pose. As we bend the elbows slightly, we're in a crouching cow position. Inhale, coming forward, straightening the arms, round the spine, and press back. So we're just adapting or experimenting with a variation of a cow and a cat flow. Light on the fingertips. You could flatten the palms if that feels better. Coming into a crouching cow position, elbows down towards the floor. Inhaling, coming forward, lead with the heart, straightening the arms, rounding the spine, and pressing back, cat. Inhaling, crouching into cow. Exhaling back for cat. Hinging from the hips, leading with the heart. Inhale. Pressing through the palms, rounding through the spine, pressing back. Let's do one more. Inhaling forward. Exhaling back. Let's hold it here in that back position. And maybe we neutralize the hips a little bit to find an expression of child's pose. So for child's pose, you could have your toes touching and the knees wide. We might want to make some space for the ribs and the belly to get kind of nestled between the thighs. As an alternative, we could always keep the knees closer, and we might even want to feel pressure on the belly. So we could always come down and add a little pressure onto the abdomen. This is a technique we use to energetically flush the body of tension energies. Relax your head and your neck. Breathe along the sides of the spine. Breathe along the sides of the waist, from the hip through the rib to the armpit. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling from the throat with the lips together as much as possible. When you're ready, slowly look forward. Let's take our time to make our way to standing at the top of our mat. Looking forward, let's step one foot and then the other. And maybe we keep our hands on the thighs just for a few moments so that the blood pressure in the body has opportunity to stabilize. We can always add in a gentle sway with the hips, giving the body a little time to feel fully supported by the earth. Wiggle the toes. When it feels right for you, let's slowly bring the hands up and come up into standing. All right. So from our strong mountain expression, let's inhale the arms up and overhead. Big breath in, gather the breath. And then exhale, take the hands back and down. Bending the elbows at any time that can take tension off the head and the neck. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale back. So let's begin to pace the movement, matching the breath. In this style of yoga, vinyasa, flowing yoga, the movement is like a beautiful dance, and we're choreographing the movement to each inhale and each exhale. When it feels right for you, relax the hands down. Let's take the feet out to any comfortable width for your body. Let's see. All right. From here, we might want to just let the hands gently twist and sway left and right. Gentle trunk rotations with this swaying movement. We can always look in the same direction as the sway, or maybe we sway over to one side, but we turn and look forward. So we're turning the head in the opposite direction of the movement that we're making with the trunk of the body. Naturally, our gaze may want to follow the movement. We may want to mindfully change the gaze, going against that natural impulse to create a little more coordination, a little more spatial awareness also. Sway to one side, looking to the other side. Sway, shift the gaze. Sway and shifting the gaze. Just a couple more. Let's bring it to any still point coming out of that gentle sway. From here, let's take the feet in, maybe just under the width of the pelvis or to the width of the natural fleshy hip. Let your body choose for you. Inhale, reaching the arms up and overhead. Big breath in. Let's lace the fingertips together and invert the palms. You can have the palms straight up towards the sky. Maybe take them in front of the body. If this is uncomfortable at all, maybe lower one hand to the hip instead. From wherever you are, let's lean just a little bit over to the right and feel as if that left armpit and elbow are pulling up and out of the waistline. We can always bend that left knee while we pull up from the left armpit, creating a deeper contraction on the right side of the body, a little squeeze or a little hug into the liver. As we inhale, let's imagine the breath moving mostly up against the side of the lung under your left armpit. Looking up, straight ahead or down towards the floor. One more big breath in. Let's bring it through center. Relax the arms for a moment. Maybe even roll out the wrist a little bit. Shake out the arms. Let's just check in. When you're ready, inhale, arms overhead, placing the fingertips, inverting the palms, either pressing straight up or a little bit in front of the body or one hand down. Let's take it over to the left this time. Just a gentle hug into the intestines, pulling up and out of the liver and the side waist on the right. Bending that right knee, that right hip drops away from the armpit, creating more length along the right side of the body. Let's reposition the head and neck to create the most comfort for the spine. And now breathe up against the armpit and side lung on the right side of the body. When you're ready, come through center. Let's lower the hands again and shake out the arms, maybe roll out the wrist and move the fingers. From wherever you are, take the feet out to about, wider than the width of the hips. Let's turn the toes out and see that the knees bend in the same direction as the toes. Inhaling the arms up and overhead into our moonflower. Exhale down, moonflower flow. Inhale up, 5-pointed star, reaching through the fingertips. Exhaling down, moonflower. Moonflower flow. Every inhale, every exhale is going to dictate how we move and when we move. So following the rhythm of the breath as much as possible. There are always exceptions to this. It is possible to feel rushed by our breath. So at any time, if you notice that the breath is creating an anxiousness or an urgency, just move with what feels right for you. Let's add in a little twist to this as we bend the knees, drawing the elbows in, twisting towards the right, and maybe looking over the right shoulder. Inhale, bringing the arms up and overhead. Exhale, gently bending the knees, trunk rotation over to the left, elbows in. Option to reach out with those hands if it feels better for you. Inhale, take it up, 5-pointed star. Exhale, gentle twist. Option to reach out, increasing the length of the arms. Inhale up. Exhale, trunk rotation, looking over the shoulder. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling from the throat. When we exhale from the throat with the lips together, we may still notice some of the breath moves up and out from the nostrils. Let's even this up on left and right for our bodies. When you feel that this is evened up for you, let's inhale, bring it up to center, 5-pointed star, that moonflower foundation. Exhale, bending the knees, adding in a flat back with a gentle swan dive, keeping the head higher than the heart and the heart higher than the hips. Let's cross the left hand over the right hand. Inhale, come up, cross the left hand over the right hand. Exhale, coming down, heart and head high, this time right hand in front of the left. Inhale up, right hand in front of the left. Continuing to alternate, left hand dominant. Inhale, exhale down, left arm in front. Inhale up, left arm in front. Exhale down, right hand in front. Inhaling up, right hand in front. Let's try a couple more, practicing in your own mind, switching out the dominant hand. So left hand dominant. And now right. And now just let those arms relax. Let's inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Establish a nice neutral stance for the body. Couple more easy breaths. Gather the breath in any way that feels right for you. One more. Let's bring the hands to the heart, stepping the left foot back a very short stride and bending the right knee. Inhaling, sweeping the arms up and overhead. Option 2, take our right hand and pat ourselves on the back, and maybe take the left hand down to the low back, focusing on a big stretch that moves from your left hip across to that right armpit. From wherever you are, let's slowly release that right hand to the low back. As we inhale, let's bow out the chest, straighten the right leg, and maybe open the throat, stretching the lymph nodes through that neck and cervical spine region. Big inhale. One more big breath in. When you're ready, slowly come to neutral. Let's bend that right knee. From wherever you are, open to the edge of your mat, taking it out to a warrior 2 stance. Let's extend the arms out, turning the right palm up, scoop up the breath, reaching straight up with the right hand, and lower the left arm, reverse warrior. You can reach straight up or maybe pat yourself on the back or lower that elbow. Looking up in alignment with the heart or over the back shoulder. Inhale, open from the armpit. Exhale, let's bring it to a supported side angle, placing our right hand on the thigh, kicking the hips back so you're angling the tailbone back towards your left heel. Right hand on the thigh, away from the knee joint, or maybe slide that right hand down onto your shin. Let's inhale, taking that left arm up. Option to take it forward and around, circling with the arm. You can make some pretty big circles here if it feels right for you, or maybe experiment with bending the elbow and making some tiny circles so we could tune into the tiniest bits of sensation, and that might help to activate tiny muscles in the shoulder joint that can stabilize that energy. So either circle with the arm or make it smaller and circle it with that elbow. When you're ready, let's come to any still point, bringing that left hand onto the hip. Let's bend the right knee, rising up to warrior 2 position. From here, bringing hands to the hips. Let's slowly reposition our feet so that we can step to the top of our mat, finding a strong mountain expression. When you're ready, stepping the right foot back, casual stride, little bend in that left knee. Inhaling the arms up and overhead, traditional warrior 1 expression, reaching dynamically through the fingertips. When you're ready, maybe patting ourselves on the back with that left hand, and then lowering that right hand down and back. Little squeeze of the armpits in towards the spine. Let's notice the stretch that moves from the right hip through the ribs to your left armpit region. Relaxing the head and the neck. Exaggerating the inhale through the nostrils and from the throat. When you're ready, slowly take that left hand towards the low back. Let's exaggerate the breath around the heart. Big breath in. Exhale, straightening that left leg, maybe even opening the throat a little bit. Big inhale. When it feels right for you, bring the head and the neck to center. Let's bend that left knee. Turn the right heel in and open to the long edge of your mat. So we're finding our warrior two stance. Bending the left knee, will extend out through both arms. Let's look over the left fingertips, turning the left palm up, scoop up the breath, reaching straight up to the sky, reverse warrior. Option to look up in alignment with the heart or back over our shoulder, noticing where the body might be experiencing the most comfort with that head and neck position. Let's breathe into the armpit. Remember, you could always lower the arm. You take that hand out of it all together and just focus on pulling up and out of that waistline. When you're ready, exhale. Let's bring it through warrior two. Place the left hand on the left thigh. Allow that hip to be pulled back behind you, right hip pulling back, and press into the outer blade of your right foot. We can always slide that hand down to the shin, anywhere on that left leg except the kneecap. Putting any pressure on the knee right here can over time create some discomforts for the body. So we're just going to avoid that knee for today. Let's take that right arm up. Option to create some big circles with the arms. So tuning into our body's largest expression of this circle. Inhale as you open, exhale as the energy closes, and eventually make it a little smaller. Experiment with shortening the lever. So what happens if we do the same movement leading from the armpit first, then from the elbow, pull out from that armpit and shoulder, and notice if it changes the way that the pose feels for you. Of course, we could change that rotation at any time, especially if you're curious about the practice. Just changing direction can create some very different sensations for us. Maybe even something we feel is a better stretch for our bodies. Let's do just a couple more circles. Inhale as you're open, exhale as it closes. Finding any still point, let's lower that top arm to the waist, slowly rising up, bending the left knee, establishing that warrior two stance. When you're ready, slowly turn your toes in, walk the feet towards each other, and let's meet at the top of our mat in our mountain expression. Inhaling, bringing the arms up and overhead. Exhale, take them out to the side. Let's notice what the body prefers. So maybe we keep moving the arms, or maybe placing hands on the body and watching the breath. Continue to move the arms with the breath if that feels right to you. Inhaling, arms overhead. Exhale, sweeping arms down. Maybe even counting the breath again, whether your arms are flowing or resting on the body. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Let's try a couple more. Drawing in that breath in 3 parts: belly, ribs, heart. Exhale, heart, ribs, belly. When you're ready, relax the hands down beside you. From here, moving into just a little bit of balance today for the body. So let's move into a standing half moon balance. I prefer standing half moon with either a wall, a chair, or any other type of prop that you might have around you. It just so happens I have a spin bike today that I'm able to use. So I like to express half moon with the head higher than the heart. For most people, traditionally, half moon is an inversion that can create some fluctuations in blood pressure that might be uncomfortable. If you know that your body is okay with half moon, you're welcome to express it in any way. If you are looking to maybe watch your blood pressure today, maybe just keep your head higher than the heart. So for half moon, I'm going to face my prop. And from here, I can start with both hands on the wall or on a chair or on a table. With the knees soft, I'm extending one leg back behind me. Flexing the foot, we may want to turn the big toe in so that we keep the hips slightly squared. It's okay if you want to point the toe just a little bit here. Now, whatever leg is back, we're going to push into our standing foot and begin to open the hips. And then take your outer leg and press out into the side hips. So there's an element of an abduction with this half moon. Option to keep the hands supportive in close to the body, or maybe whatever leg is lifted, maybe take that arm away from the body in your expression of a half moon. Practicing big, exaggerated inhales, and then exhale. Give the body a little bit of rest and ease when you let go of that breath. One more. When you're ready, slowly come to center. Let's take our time to switch sides, moving around so that we're able to find a foundation for the body, starting with our hands facing our support, softly bending through the knees, taking our other leg back, noticing where the foot and ankle might want to be, squaring the hips to begin, and then pushing into that standing leg. We're actually only opening through the standing hip. The hip that we're opening is really staying neutral. We're really only opening the hip on the bottom leg, rotating through that bottom hip and opening the pelvis. Adding in that abduction, pressing through the outer hip. Inhale, option to extend that outer arm. We can look up, straight ahead, or down to the floor. Once we establish our foundation, make it about the breath. It really is always about the breath anyway. Big inhale, and then exhale. 2 more. If there's any tension hiding in the body, the breath can show us how easy it is to let it go. Just let it go. When you're ready, slowly press away. Let's feel for both feet connected to the earth, both feet grounded to the floor. From wherever you are, let's center the breath. Inhale, sweep the arms up, and exhale, draw the hands into the heart. Inhale, sweeping. Exhale, drawing it in. One more, big inhale. And then exhale, bring it in. Now, from wherever you are, maybe just take your ring finger down towards the padding of the thumb on both hands and take the thumb over that ring finger. This is a hand gesture that taps into a particular acupressure point to possibly just help us to feel a little more calm and maybe even improving the breath slightly. So you can have the hands in front of you like so. Option to close the eyes, and let's just feel for that place in the body where maybe there's a sense of ease. And notice, is the breath moving to that place? Where does the breath go? Noticing the body, noticing the breath, and maybe the mind engages by assigning a color to the breath. So as we hold this particular mudra, so it's the ring finger down towards the padding of the thumb over that ring finger. So you have your index finger, middle finger, and pinky fingers up. As we're holding that in any way by the body, notice with your eyes closed, does the mind assign a color to the breath? We may not see any colors at all. That's okay. If you're not seeing any color, that's okay. Over time, we might start to see colors. If you want, maybe just feel that you're drawing in a cool blue light, exhaling red or gold energy from the body. Inhaling blue, exhaling red or gold. Let's try just 2 more like that. Last one. When you're ready, relax your hands, open the eyes. Now let your body move in any natural way before we come down to the floor for a little more movement. Let's be sure that if we have time maybe to grab a little bit of water to safely make our way down to the floor. We hinge from the hips, maybe even use some sort of support for assistance. We'll take one leg back and lower our knee, and then the other leg back. And from here, we can sit back onto the floor. From seated, let's keep the knees bent and take the feet out to about hips width distance for the next few movements. Let's bring our hands behind the thighs. So you're going to take the hands on the sides of the thighs. They could be under the knees or underneath the thighs for the few movement that we're going through. Let's bring our belly onto the thighs, little belly press. And as you inhale, pull up through the heart, open the throat, and maybe look up towards the sky. Hold it here. Shift your eyes to the left without moving the head. Bring the eyes to neutral or look up. Shift the eyes to the right without moving the head. Bring the eyes to neutral. Let's do just a couple of more. Eyes shifting to the left without moving the head. Neutral. Eyes moving to the right. And now come to center. Let's extend just the right leg out, drawing that left knee in closer to the body, and then let that knee go out to the side. Let's inhale, sweeping the arms up and overhead. As we exhale, swan dive, reaching towards the leg or towards the foot. Allow the upper back to round, drop the head and the neck. Let's breathe into the low back, the middle back, and the upper back. When you're ready, slowly notice where the body is, walk the hands in, and let's stack the spine. Let's try that stretch on the other side. Take your time to switch out the legs, extending the left leg, bringing that right leg in, letting that right knee go out to the side. So we're opening through this groin region. There are lymph nodes down here that we're attempting to stimulate. Inhaling the arms overhead. Exhale, swan diving forward, drawing the belly towards the thigh. Bend that knee a little more if it feels more comfortable. Let's relax the head and the neck. Breathing into the low back, the middle back, and the upper back. Just 5 to 10 easy breaths here and no rush. When you're ready, let's notice where the hands are for support. Keep the head relaxed. Slowly begin to come up, stacking the spine. Slowly lifting the head. Okay. So before we lie down for some meditation, come into any easy seated position. And let's practice the Bumblebee Breath. This is a technique used to promote relaxation through the whole body. If you're familiar with the breath, you're welcome to go ahead and lie down. If you're still getting familiar with it, I encourage you to stay where you can see me. So you can lie down at this point or stay seated. For the Bumblebee Breath, you can take your hands to manipulate acupressure points, put the index finger above, just above your eyebrow, curl your middle finger onto your cheekbone, your ring fingers onto the lines just beside your upper lip, and then your pinky fingers go down to your chin. Then take your thumbs, and we're going to use the thumbs to fold over that flap of skin by the ear to insulate the sound that vibrates in this chant. So to do this breathing technique, this Bumblebee Breath, we're inhaling one big breath in, and then we're going to hum until we run out of air. We'll do 3 of those rounds, 3 times to inhale and exhale with a hum. Let's try it together. Big breath in, close off the ears. If you're still seated, you're welcome to stay seated for the meditation today, or go ahead and slowly make your way into lying down on your back with the knees bent. Get comfortable, grab a pillow or a blanket, support your head and neck. Let's notice the breath first as you inhale, counting to yourself, 1, 2, 3. Exhaling, 3, 2, 1. At any point, you may want to shift the count of the breath. So maybe when it feels familiar and comfortable, inhale, count to 4. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's try that for just a couple easy breaths. Inhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling, 4, 3, 2, 1. Notice when the body feels satisfied with the breath. Notice if there's a longing to shift the breath. Maybe the body wants a little more time to breathe. So maybe you stretch it out again. Inhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And of course, you could always stretch that breath out even more. The bigger breath is not always the better breath. We're simply learning through the art of observation and by listening to the body, what the body might need at any moment. Does the body need more or less time to breathe? Give the body a little bit of time to establish comfort, feel grounded through the hips. Feel the shoulders relaxed, down and back. And maybe begin to chant, just for the next minute, Ata, Ata. On every inhale, hearing Ah, every exhale, hearing Ta. The word Ata quite literally translates to now, now, staying in the present moment. Let's allow the body just a little more time, embracing this present moment. You may want to stay here a little longer. If you feel that you're getting sleepy and you know that you're going to need to get up, we can begin to gently awaken the body from meditation by deepening the breath first. So maybe it's just a big inhale. And then exhale from your throat with a sigh. If you're lying down, wiggle your fingers and toes. No matter where we are, let's turn the palms up. We can always add in just a little bit more stimulation to the body with some gentle cupping. So whether you're lying down or seated, take your hands and cup the hands, and maybe just take your arms and just begin to tap. Just some gentle tapping down the arm and then back up. You can even add in this cupping or this tapping just over the chest. Notice if you might want to try the other arm, just taking that gentle tapping motion down the arm and then up the arm and in towards the heart. Adding in that cupping and tapping over the chest. Whether you're lying down or seated, take the arm across under the armpits, onto the tops of the shoulders and the neck. Just very gentle. Switching sides whenever it feels right for you. If you're lying down, you may want to draw one knee up and in towards the chest, and maybe just allow just that little bit of tapping along the sides of the thigh, and even along your kneecap, very gently. Just waking up that energy through the extremities. Option to switch legs from either lying down or seated. Now, if you're lying down, you're welcome to continue resting in the body, maybe even continue tapping and cupping in the body. From wherever you are, this concludes our practice today. Thank you for joining me. I wish you all a day full of peace. Namaste, everybody. Go have a beautiful day, everyone. Go have a great 4th of July weekend. I'll see you all next Tuesday.